this channel wouldn't be where it was without the videos that are done for System1. But I think they've got this one wrong. So basically, what we've got a theme of AI and whatnot. So they've got a new AI tool called Patient Insights. Okay, really nifty tool. That basically they've got a large batch of data, and what they've done is the clever sort of engineers, mathematicians behind the scenes have basically got all of these patients and gone, right, if you go through this and you've got this, and this, and then it spits you out a percentage of the likelihood of developing certain conditions. And what they've done is they targeted cancers as like a predominant one. So like that you get, and then you get a report that sort of builds up saying, right, you've got 10 patients and they've got a percentage risk of developing cancer. And it was sort of thrust. So nice idea. And I like the concept, but
I can see the value of that. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just need to rant about it because I'm like, I like it, but done it really. So for a start, how the heck do you calculate or how do you communicate percentages to Joe Public?
Oh yeah, good point.
Because I do love my stats. Go and see future videos, but how and they haven't gone into the detail of what those percentages mean. So for example, the reason why Q risk is good is that you get a percentage, over 10%, you get a statin, or you're offered a statin, for example. There's no such barrier or line of like, well, if you hit, 5% chance of ovarian cancer, that means you get an automatic 2-week wait, because they haven't done the extra work for it.
Okay, right.
So
the implementation of it's not
there.
I've got another question that you've immediately made me think of.
Oh, go on, please. Yeah.
Which is so this is done automatically for the patient on the system.
Correct.
Probably. What if that patient has private insurance, travel insurance, health insurance?
Oh, yeah.
And they didn't know you were doing it, but their insurer could ask for that information.
Good. Now, I think...
And how would that be used?
Yeah. And that's it. They haven't got the data behind it to say, what does this mean? Or I'll give them credit where credit's due. If they have got the data, it hasn't been published.
Okay, fair enough. Yeah.
So it's...
You would have thought they would publish it. Okay.
Well, that's the other bit. So because we haven't got data that's published, we haven't got a clue what the methodology was, what the population was, because was it, yes, they're down in Leeds predominantly, so what's it, Leeds population? Well, I'm up in the northeast. That's a very different population, even though geographically quite similar. Does your risk that caveats there extend to my area up to it? And the bit that annoys me in terms of it. So, and I take your point about insurance. I went on to it a bit slightly differently with what happens if the patient found out that they've suddenly got like a 5% risk?
Well, yeah.
And then
what do they do with that?
Yeah.
What do you do with that as the clinician?
Exactly. And you sort of go like, well, have you got it? Have you not got it? Am I just looking at your symptoms, or what are you doing with this? And the other bit that I think that isn't really fleshed out very well in it is that they don't give you any information of where that percentage has come from. So for example, like I know that in the northeast, that there is a higher risk, certainly, of bladder cancer, for example. Now, when they spit out a percentage, it's the case of, is that percentage in front of me stuff that's within my control, i.e., I've had a trainee, someone who's missed a positive fit test, missed that they've documented diarrhea, and then it's just, that's not spat out. So it's sort of like, where's it gone? Versus, the fact that you live in the northeast, you're going to have a lower expectation of your health, or there's a greater risk of bladder cancer, is sort of said. So what is it? Stuff that
demographic, or is it specific, basically?
Yeah, like is it a missed clinical bit from that point? So I was just a bit like, and the one bit that really grips me, because they haven't done that. I've tried to do it because it's like, look, I feel there's a moral obligation to do this, or at least try and do it. But so they spit out, I think it's 5 conditions. You can caveat it to like, your top 10. And it spits out saying like what the percentages, and the top 10 saying these are the top 10 risk at your practice, and you can add notes and say this, that, and the other. But I went, well, hang on a second. Each patient, for me to trawl through, took 20 minutes, if not longer.
Okay.
So then suddenly, and I think what hasn't been factored into this, that, and I'm going to I apologise to sound a bit crass and a bit harsh businessman about it, but, that's 30 minutes per patient. That's 25 hours of my time taken up of something that hasn't really got a so what from it, that hasn't got a clear how should we be executing these values, what's the legal bit, or what's the legal obligation. Now I've seen some documents that they say that there isn't a legal obligation to do it, but it doesn't, for me it fails the sun test of like, if a patient went to cry about it, understandably, that saying, Dr. Hindmarsh knew about this and didn't act upon it. And I'm like, well, where do I stand?
Yeah, I think it opens up too much debatable risk for patients in their lifetime, also clinicians. Yeah, I mean, I hadn't heard about it until you said it, but wow, yeah, I can totally see why.
Yeah, so I'm just a bit...
I take it you've turned off this feature.
Well, that's the other bit. You can't. So it's automatically like everyone with SystmOne has got it. So they've got this data potentially screaming out at them to be like, what do you do with it? Now, fairness, before I'm not, this isn't the first time they are aware of all my little rants. I have had a meeting with them to say, these are my concerns, do with them what you will. Like, please, can you change this so that, one, where's the research? Like, what is your cutoff values that we should be worried about? That is the key bit. Should I be worried about this? Can it be transposable? Like, two, is there any way? And I'm conscious that clearly they've got a large AI model that's doing working out all the statistics. I don't want them to give that away because that's their business. But I need to have something and all I want is they're up this high because of the consultation back in March 24 when some idiot, didn't follow this through, or probably me didn't follow it through. Or is it down to the fact that they are 92 in a care home, got an awful premorbid state, so they are unfortunately more at risk of getting cancers. Yeah, so I was just my little rant, my vent about it, that even though, as I've one that I've been quite reluctant with some of the AI use, but I know that I need to lean into it and not lean back.
It's the fundamental. It's the same principle about all screening tools, isn't it? It's why we don't have a prostate screening.
Exactly. Yeah, because it doesn't.
I mean, it's just not good enough for the purpose of as a screening, nationwide screening solution, is it? So yeah, it's the same kind of principle that you're saying here. Yeah,
and on the reverse, I'm more than happy to be like, if practices have used this, found it that they have targeted their top 5, top 10, reduced, they've invited them in, had a chat, found out they've got cancer, brilliant. But I haven't seen that information and I haven't seen that data coming through.
Okay.
And it's like,
well,
please.
It'd be interesting to find out if people are using it.
Yeah, please.
Does I won't keep you going too long on this. Does SystmOne have permission to see this data for their AI?
Oh, I don't think
no. Can they pull it out of the practice?
No.
You'd have to have something in the terms and conditions for them to do that. But
yeah. So they've had.
They can't. But
no. So they. So I believe that they can't pull the sort of the back end data. I mean, it'd be very interesting from a academic point of view to do that. But yeah, they can't.
Slightly.
Ethically
on the grey
rocky ground. So yeah, from that way. But no, they can't. I mean, I think I think there would be practices that are willing to do that, and because actually you can see the clinical value. But yeah, and even just building that research base. But yeah, so that's my rant. Thank you for listening to me, Matthew.